Welcome, White Sox fans. It is another edition of Ladies Night. I am your host, Melissa Sage-Bollenbach, and I'm excited to be here today with two phenomenal ladies. My co-host will be Miss Allie Wesel, and our distinguished guest is Jacki Krestel. Yay! We're so happy to have you. It's so good to see your face live and in person.
I was happy that you guys asked me. Thanks, MSB.
Yeah, you're welcome. You were on the top of our list. So all right. Well, I'm not sure that Jacki needs much of an introduction to our fan base, but her little bio that she gave me and I'm not sure I believe this either, Jacki, but Jacki is a chronically online middle-aged mother from the suburbs who loves baseball, her family, and Dr. Pepper. I believe the baseball family and Dr. Pepper part, but I don't know about.
Oh no, I'm definitely chronically online. Definitely.
Now, is the baseball family and Dr. Pepper in the correct order, or
I'd love to make a joke, but no, it's not in the correct order. The correct order is family, baseball, Dr. Pepper.
Oh.
But I mean, they're close. They're close.
Very, very good. Very good. Okay, so we're going to jump right in because we have a half an hour and I want to make sure that we get to all the good stuff. So first, Jacki, I kind of want to know, I mean, I know a little bit, but how did your interest in sports kind of jumpstart? How did you begin to be interested?
That's a very short and simple answer. And so I love sports because my father loves sports. And my father had 3 little girls and he didn't know what else to do. So he just taught us what he knew, and that was sports, and he loved baseball. And so I love baseball because my dad liked baseball. That's basically it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a story for a lot of us too. Like, I mean, I know I'm very similar in that, I had a stepdad who had a passion for the White Sox. And so I was like, well, this is kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
Mine goes back a generation to my grandfather's, but also like my mom played Division I softball when she was in college. So like she really encouraged me to like take up the sport, and she was a very big Cubs fan, so I got to like kind of get ingratiated into that as well. But like baseball and the White Sox specifically was my dad's father, who had season tickets, and I went to the stadium club all the time. So who doesn't?
Oh, nice little perk there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jacki, go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't know that about your mom. I want to know more. Like, where did she play and what was her position?
Yeah, so my mom was a pitcher and a catcher. We actually both pitched at the same high school. I went to the same high school that my mom did. And our PA announcer for the varsity team was my mom's softball coach in high school.
Oh, wow.
And then my mom played Division I softball at St. Louis University down in
very nice.
St. Louis.
Wow.
So she primarily switched to a catcher once she got to college. But yeah, she got her physical therapy degree all while playing softball throughout college.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Where you go, Mama Wesel?
Yeah, we love her.
That's super impressive.
Now, Jacki, did your sisters pick up on this love that like your father tried to instill on you, or like are you the like diehard of the 3 of you?
Yes and yes. So both of my sisters and my mother now all really like baseball. But if I was always the one, I think that was the most into it. When we started playing softball, my father was also one of our coaches, and he pushed us pretty hard. And so if you didn't absolutely love it, it was going to make you start resenting the sport. And that's what happened to one of my sisters. And then the other one, she loves it, and she's probably like in second place behind me, my younger sister. But I definitely like it the most. I'm the one that is most passionate about it, I think. When he like pushed us to practice, I didn't mind it because I loved it so much.
So did you start playing from a young age then?
Yes. I mean, it started with T-ball. And then I played in-house in-house, like in the town that I grew up in. Played softball there for a few years until I was like maybe 12 or 13, and I started getting better than everyone else in the in-house league. And so I kind of outgrew that, and I tried out for a travel team. I made a travel team. I did that for a while. I played in high school, played in college. So I started when I was like 5.
See, that's like the generation like difference between me and you is that
Travel
no
ball?
girl I knew played t-ball, none of it. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, like
Oh,
I mean, I'm sure obviously like there were, but like the girls that I knew like in my neighborhood and stuff, like nobody was doing that. Like everybody was, dancing, you're going to the dance studio or maybe tennis, but like no, not until like I got to high school, and my friend group or whatever got bigger, that obviously some girls there played softball, but yeah, like we didn't even play in the neighborhood or anything.
really?
So you never played softball growing up, Melissa?
Nope. Like in gym class, like I played in gym class and I was terrible.
Oh,
Because like, it was just like something that we just didn't do. Like, so yeah, I mean, I like understood it and I loved it, but oh my gosh, put a bat in my hand and I could not hit a ball to save my life. So I'm always like super like envious of people who had actually the opportunity to play, hands-on and like engage with the sport and everything. So
yeah.
Jacki,
It was fun.
We had pretty similar journeys going from in-house to competitive. My mom was one of those moms that was like, I want my kids to try a little bit of everything. So like I did a season of soccer, I did dance, I competitively swam, and then I always played softball in between. But my mom was like, I am not paying all this money to have you try out for a travel team if you're like not actually committed. And then I was like getting really competitive and like too good in the in-house league. And she was like, okay, I think now that we find somewhere else for you to play.
Yeah. Right.
Well, that's like awesome though that your mom gave you that experience. Like I tried to do that with my kids because I was a dancer and I was like, I don't want my daughter to dance because like there's so many other opportunities to like keep going in sports and whatever. And so tried her in like soccer. I mean, you name it. We tried to put her in a clinic or something. And like in soccer, she's like turning cartwheels and dancing in the goalie zone. And I'm just like, okay, I guess I got to give up on this.
That's adorable. That's adorable is what that is.
She was the little girl picking the dandelions in the outfit.
No,
yeah.
100% was while she was doing the cartwheels and like turning and, like, I was like, okay, well,
so she's a gymnast.
I have to give in. And so, yeah, she ended up being a dancer. And then Sage, we like did him too, like the basketball, the t-ball, all of that. None of it, like wanted nothing to do with sports whatsoever. And then took him to the playoff game in 2021. And now he is obsessed with every sport like in existence. Bulls, Blackhawks, White Sox, like he even watches the Cubs. So yeah, it's just crazy how that family like influence thing plays out. So
I don't know, MSB. I have 2 daughters. None of them like sports. Neither of them like sports.
Okay.
So I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit,
but you did you try them and like, oh, you're going to do the t-ball, you're going to do, no, they were just like, no, we're not even trying it.
No, I was pretty cognizant early on that I didn't want to push my interests on them, that I wanted them to find their own. So I always just tell them, I just want you to have a hobby. I don't care if it's a sport. I don't care if it's, drama or band or acting. Like you have to have something outside of school. You have to have something.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. So I don't know. Right now, one of them is doing like gymnastics, and the other one's still trying to find something.
Yeah.
So I never pushed my sport, but I brought them to games, and like the games are always on TV at home, and like they would ask questions at the beginning, but like now they do not care at all, and it's a little sad. It's a little sad.
Yeah. Like, I mean, Caitlin, she's in our fantasy baseball league, but like her brother like runs her account and stuff.
Oh, really?
We would take her to like games, and her favorite thing was just eating. So like she still likes to go to the games, just like hang out and eat, but at least she like understands it now, but she still, be like, whatever, I'll go for the social aspect. But
Jackie, there's still time. You could still
I was gonna say that I'm like softball momming by proxy. Like when one of my friends or my cousin's kids get into softball, I'm like, I can teach her. Do you want me to teach her? I can teach her.
Jackie pulls out her stats books.
I've got so much coaching love to give and no outlet.
Well, but like there's no age stamp on that either, right? Like you could even like after your girls are like gone from the house or whatever, and you're like
right.
Stuff to do, you can be like, hey, I'm gonna go coach myself some softball.
There were plenty of dads when I was growing up that like their kids were long out of college that were just like, I still coach because I just like to do it. In fact, Stoop's dad does that.
I know.
I even have a daughter that played softball. He just coaches travel softball for fun.
Oh, that's
awesome.
So you played in college too? You kept playing, Jackie?
I played for the little bit of time that I was in college when I was young. So I was on scholarship to play ball at St. Xavier, but I only lasted a year because I wasn't a good student.
Oops. Too much. Did you have a little too much fun maybe?
No, it was MSB. It was the exact opposite. I was straight edge. I didn't go to parties. I didn't drink. I didn't do any of that. It was just, I was lazy. So, and like at some point my mom was like, if you're not going to go to class, I'm not going to pay for it. And like me, all of 18 years old, I'm like, fine, I'll go to work. And then like once I went back to college as an adult and I had to pay for it, you better believe I was on every dean's list.
Yeah,
and
I just for this stuff.
Right. So it just took me a little bit of time to grow up. So I do regret that because I missed out on playing years. Those are years that I could have been playing ball.
Yeah, well, when we're young, we think we know it all, right?
I know.
Yeah, I think you have it all.
Are you listening, Allie? You're so young.
Hey, I also quit softball after a year in undergrad.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
I didn't know you played in college, Allie.
Yeah, I played Division III at Carthage College for a year.
Okay.
And then I was like, I'm pre-med. I don't have time for this. Because they tell you Division III is like laid back. You could, you can balance whatever. You're still a student athlete. You still have practice every day after school. There's still expectations. You're just not, you're not getting huge scholarships to play. You're just a tiny little Division III. So,
St. Xavier was Division II, and I still felt like I was on like a professional team. They took it so seriously. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's just kind of the nature of college sports, whatever level it is. Like the coaches and stuff, most of the time they used to be players. And so they still have that like hunger and like desire to like win and everything. So, well, kudos to both of you for, yes.
Fun story. The head coach of the softball program when I went to St. Xavier got fired the same year that I started because I don't remember there was some kind of drama and she got fired before the season started. And do you know where she worked directly after that?
The White
softball program for the Chicago White Sox.
I was like, it's got to be the White Sox. Like,
it was.
Oh, that's funny. That is really funny.
It's so funny.
So, I mean, I know you don't have, your girls in it or anything, but like, what do you think in terms of the landscape from like when you started playing as a little girl until now, being a part of it as, a fan and a content creator? Like, how have you seen that landscape for women like change or evolve, or has it?
No, it definitely has. So I actually still watch collegiate softball like when it's on TV. And I thought that the girls that I played with in college and on travel, the girls that I've seen play at travel ball, I thought that we were really, really good. These women now that play would smoke my ass. Like they are so much better. It is a different game and they are so much better than I ever was, or the best player I knew ever was. Like when I was playing, it was just a different game. Like you used to have like short swings because you just needed to put the bat on the ball and get it past the infield. These girls have power swings now. Like they're so good. there. Did you see that picture? That picture the other day? I forgot where, Kentucky, that threw like an 80-mile-an-hour fastball nearly.
Wow.
Holy crap! Like these girls would smoke me.
Well, and there's girls now playing baseball, right? I mean, some girls are like good enough to like play baseball even, and that would never. I mean, oh my gosh, in the 80s, like a woman playing baseball, absolutely
right,
not.
right.
Absolutely not.
But so as far as, go ahead, Elle.
There's going to be a women's professional league of baseball next year for the first time.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's, I forgot what that league
was. All-American Girl Professional Baseball League.
Thank you.
Oh, hey.
Sorry.
No, that's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So I briefly mentioned content creation. So why don't you tell us about how you kind of got involved in that, that our little content creators world?
So I got my start at Side Sox, and I got that start because I was just on Twitter a lot, being chronically online and talking about baseball, mainly talking about the White Sox because those are the games I was watching. And I'm usually making silly jokes on Twitter, and the editor-in-chief of Side Sox saw one of my tweets. He thought it was funny, and so he dropped in my DMs, and he was like, hey, I don't know if you've ever thought about writing or podcasting, but if you want to do those things, maybe consider doing them with us. And that was very flattering, and thank you, Brett. Brett gets a Christmas card for me because he took a chance on me before anyone else did. So I sat on it for a really long time. For a really long time is probably like 2 months, but like for me, that's a long time.
Yeah.
But I sat on it because I wasn't sure I wanted to do it because I was a woman and I was a little scared. Because again, this might be an age difference thing. Cause like Allie's like, I don't know what you're talking about. But I used to like not really talk about sports unless I was talking with my dad, or if I like could text into a radio show where they didn't know that I was a woman, because I thought I wouldn't get taken seriously if I was. So, and I know the kind of blowback that women sports content creators and professionals can get on Al Gore's internet. And I wasn't sure that I wanted to open myself up to all of that. But at the time, Side Sox had a show similar to Ladies Night called the Estrogen Power Hour that had 4 women as the co-hosts. And like, it sounds cheesy, but they really inspired me. I'm like, no, if they can do it, and like they're out there doing the thing and like doing it well and not caring what people say and just being themselves, like I could do it too. So that's how I got my start. I made a Josh Donaldson joke on Twitter that Brett laughed at.
Props to Josh Donaldson for providing you with the material, right?
Yeah. You remember when we did the Donaldson facts online? Were you on White Sox Twitter for that?
I don't think so. I mean, I was like a very fringe, like White Sox Twitter person. Like, I think I joined Twitter in like 2012 or something like that for like a really long time. But like, I just kind of lurked and like popped in every now and then. So yeah, I missed that whole thing, but it sounds really fun. It sounds like I missed out.
It was fun. We're just making fun of Josh Donaldson.
Yeah. It was just a hashtag called Josh or what Donaldson
facts.
And then people were just making up shit about Josh Donaldson because I think like he had started a fight.
That was when the Jackie Robinson comment to Tim Anderson.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
What a piece of shit, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what a total piece. I'll have to tell Brett that he has to give us our rating. No, we're just kidding.
I'm sorry.
Speaking of the boss, I better take my pause so that I don't get yelled at because we don't have our ad break. So we will be back in just a few minutes. So listen to whatever it is they want to sell you, and we'll be right back. Okay, see, we're back. It was fast. What do you know? So it's just funny to me that you like thought about it and sat on it for so long, because you like are such a natural, I feel like, in terms of like whenever I've seen you on podcasts or like you're so witty, and like I wish I was like I'm just not. I'm like so like black and white, and like tell me what I need to do. Give me a recap. Like, I'll do that. Does that come easy for you, Jacki? Because it seems like it comes really easy to you.
No, it does not. It does not. I'm actually, believe it or not, I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert.
Yes, I am too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely guess that.
No, and especially if I'm going to be on, I talked about this on Blue Sky a few days ago, because we were talking about being a woman in sports. And so it doesn't come natural to me. That's why I like to know what we're going to talk about before we talk about it, because I'm so paranoid about misspeaking or saying something wrong. And then people are going to be like, oh, this girl doesn't know anything. Girls don't know anything, you know?
Right.
So I feel like I have to be perfect, and it's a little stressful.
Yeah, it is stressful. Like, we feel like our leash isn't quite as long, right? Like, people give us the benefit of the doubt, and be like, they're 3 girls. What do they know about?
Right. 100%. Poor Brett had to wait for my game recaps until like midnight, because I was like agonizing over like what I was saying.
So I know you're not doing as much of your content creating as you were before. And I think it's important to talk about. So would you mind kind of sharing with us where you're at with the world?
Sure. So, I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, you're a Chicago White Sox fan, I'm going to gather. So I stopped content creating the third or second time. I can't remember. I think it was the second time that the White Sox signed Mike Clevenger. The first year that they did it, you know, we made a decision as a staff on how we were going to handle that. And I was okay with that, because I figured I would just have to muscle through it for a year. He was on a year contract, and I could do it for a year. But then when he came back, I remember telling Brett that, like, if he comes back, I can't do it. I can't do it. I think there's a big difference between being a fan, which I will always be and I will continue to be. Like, I'll still be on social media talking about the games, but to cover the team, if you've never covered a team before, it is a very different animal, and you have to be really entrenched in it to do it well. And I wanted to do it well. So what I told Brett is, like, I can't stand that close to it. I can't stand that close to it as long as they're going to employ this person who just hates women and
children apparently.
And children apparently. But, you know, and it ties into a bunch of my deeper feelings about being a fan as a woman, which we've already touched on, and like how we are held to such a different standard. And it just really sucks when I love something so much and it doesn't love me back. It doesn't care. Baseball doesn't, professional sports in general don't care about women. They're going to have pink bats on Mother's Day, and then they're going to go employ a guy that beats the shit out of his wife and girlfriend, you know? So,
yeah.
So I couldn't stand that close to it. So I was very happy yesterday when I saw, and I learned it because Crystal O'Keefe posted about it on Blue Sky. That's how I found out that Mike Clevenger was designated for assignment. And I was so happy. I was like, oh, in a dark season, in a dark time, in a dark everything, at least Mike Clevenger doesn't have a fucking job. So
yeah, and it's, of course, it's sad. It has nothing to do with the piece of trash that he is. It's just that he was finally showing that he sucks for the.
That's my whole. Right. It didn't even make sense from a baseball standpoint to have him on the team. Like, regardless of what a dog shit person he has proven himself to be, like it didn't, he wasn't even good. Like, what the?
Yeah. And so, I was glad that at least he seems to have a short leash, although I guess we have to wait a whole week to see.
Yeah, if he clears waivers.
Waivers, are they going to be like, oh, come to Charlotte and live in Charlotte with us? And then I'm really, really hoping. I mean, we have so many arms. We really do. Now, what you can argue whether they're good or not. But I think one of the things our system has is we have arms. But now that you've let him go, just let it go.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to sign him a fourth time, please, God.
Yeah.
I don't know what will happen.
In a world where like Mike Clevenger is permanently gone from this team or seemingly so, like, do you see a world where like you transition back into this and start doing more creation again?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I told that to Crystal when he got DFA. I'm like, let me back in the slack. Let me back.
Oh, we need more of our good vibes. As many good vibes as we can get. 'Cause let me tell you, you were talking about like the difference between being a fan and then being a creator and being entrenched in it. And like,
Yeah.
I think that's what gets to me sometimes is that it's just like, oh my gosh, day in and day out, you're keeping track of everything that's going on. And then, myself and Christina, we do the minors too. So we're like tracking these guys through the minors and then we're keeping track of what's going on at the big league level. And it just seems to all just suck all the time. And you're just
Right.
like, this is
All
so-
that to lose 100 games, all that.
yeah, like why am I doing this again? Like why am I
Right.
putting myself through this? Not just being on the fan side of it, but like being mentally exhausted from like
Yeah.
day after day after day.
It's a grind. It's a grind.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, like life is exhausting.
Right.
Yeah. The world.
Can you
right now-
imagine being a beat reporter right now?
Yeah.
No.
Goodness.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I can't. Not in
Yeah.
Chicago at all. Like unless the Cubs maybe have some hope, but like if you were covering any sports in Chicago right now, like you are a miserable person.
Yeah, for
And
real.
you're getting eaten alive by like your take. Like on top of having to do your job, then you like do your job and then people are like eating you alive for your takes on something or like, because fans are just so, I'm finding in every sport that fans are just so critical in Chicago.
Oh my
Mhm.
gosh. Running the Facebook page, let me tell you, like it is like I sometimes every once in a while though it does like hit me like will somebody else say something, but for the most part like it rolls off my back and I like try to make a joke of it. But like the other day somebody was just like posted just stop. And I'm like, well, we can't really do that because the whole point is to let you know what's happening. It was just really bizarre to like just be like they were so frustrated. They were just like, just stop talking about this team. Just stop covering it. Like I'm just like, just keep scrolling.
Right.
I don't know. Well, we're good. Let's spend the last few minutes talking about our miserableness and what do you think so far? Like, give me your takes on what you're feeling. What?
Mhm.
We're not even 3 weeks in.
Yeah, 18 games in. So here's is this like what direction I think we're going in? Because like that's how it was phrased, and I was like, I don't really know that we have direction right now. Honest to God. So what do I think? I think this team is funner to watch than last year's team. You can't be a Chicago White Sox fan and not want to always perpetually cheer for the underdog. And this is a team of underdogs. And so I'm rooting for them, and they're funner to watch this year. And they have made some improvements, so and there's a lot of youth on this team. So I'm enjoying watching them develop in real time because they weren't allowed to do it in the minor leagues. So I don't know. I think we're going to lose 100 games at least, but maybe we'll have a little bit more fun doing it. I don't know.
The wins have definitely been more fun. So like I feel
Yeah.
like when they won, it's like, ooh, it's been fun. But the losses, the lack of like scoring, that is just what drives me crazy. Like following, whether it's a write-up or whatever, Allie, the other night you had the blowout. You're like, just what do you even like write about besides the fact they can't score runs? And
I'm like, by the end, I'm just like being so melancholy. Like, you should hit better. You should feel like, I'm like, what do you say about a 12-3 loss when the only runs the team scores is in the first inning on a home run? Like, that's it. It's painful.
If I were the White Sox, I would simply score more runs. That's what I would do.
Right.
Exactly.
Just don't have anybody to do that.
Right.
And then at that point, to Jackie's point, like, then just bring up the young kids and let fans watch them develop in real time. If you're not expecting to win games and you're paying these veterans not a lot of money, like just bring up the young guys, let the kids play.
Right? Like when Corey Lee went down, I'm like, oh yeah, it's Kyle Teal time. Let's go. And I was like, I don't even get Kyle Teal. Come on, let me see him.
I know. And now that the deadline, for service time and stuff has passed, it's like, because I feel like when you've got this weird mixture of like veterans who aren't really good veterans, and then all these young guys, and you like put them together, like, I guess I worry about the young guys getting, I don't want to say jaded or anything. I mean, I'm sure the veteran guys aren't like moping around and stuff, but like, if you just have a bunch of young guys who are like gelling together and like playing together and fighting together, like, to me, that seems like it's going to build more of what you're looking for in the clubhouse, and more of like a camaraderie kind of thing. Whereas when you've got this weird mixture of like a handful of young guys trying to develop and old veteran guys who keep breaking down and getting injured, to me, it's just like, just clean house and go young and just let them have fun and let them play. But I guess that's why I'm not in charge of a baseball team. All right. Well, guess what? Look at that. Like, it totally flew by.
Oh, wow. We didn't even get to all the White Sox questions.
No, we didn't get to all the White Sox questions. Unless there's one like that you really like, it doesn't kill us. We go over 30 minutes, but is there one like on our list that you were like, oh, I really want to talk about this one?
No, I think the only one that maybe I had more thoughts on you were asking me if the White Sox would ever be good again. And the answer is yes, they will be. They just in the interest of, financial gain, they will be. But I like some of the changes that they've made, some positive changes that aren't immediately visible in the win-loss column. But they've increased the size of their analytics department. I think they went from 2 to 4 people or something like that. Yay! It's something. All right. That's 100% increase. I've heard good things about Josh Barfield, the assistant GM, and he oversaw the Diamondbacks system where they were top 10 farm systems every year that he was in charge of player development. So I'm like, oh, good. Can someone be good at player development? That would be great. So, I mean, they've done some good things, but I think the changes that need to happen in order for us to be good again are really organizational systemic changes that will not happen as long as the current owner owns the team. He just does things a little bit differently. And, I mean, just something as simple as being competitive financially in this market. Like you can bemoan what the Dodgers do all the time and like say that you couldn't possibly keep up with their payroll. And that's fine. You might not be able to keep up with what the Dodgers or what Steve Cohen is doing in New York, but you should be able to keep up to the effing Minnesota Twins. Like they shouldn't be outspending us. Like I think they're at like 146 million and we're at like 76. Like that shouldn't happen. You can at least keep up with the Detroit Tigers. Let's go. And if that's not going to happen, then it's just we're just treading water until we can get slightly competitive.
That was such a nice way to say that Jerry's bad at his job by saying that he does differently.
Yes, we appreciate your sunny, positive vibes because you like phrased that very nicely. Much nicer, I think, than most of us on staff tend to talk about Jerry.
Wow. I'm trying to, I'm on the internet. I'm trying to be nice. So privately, I'll have different thoughts.
Yeah, I think that's that is just the unfortunate truth that, I mean, he's been around for a long time, and I think probably has a very dated outlook and approach on things. And as a franchise, we need to keep up with the Joneses. You got to keep up with modern things. And, I'm sure, as a almost mid 50-year-old, like new technologies and things come out and I'm like, oh, do I want to but if I want to keep living life and I want to keep being successful and I want to keep doing what I'm doing, I got to keep up with what's going on around me. And I feel like with our baseball team, we have not, we're stuck in the early 2000s in terms of approaching things. So I bet, go ahead.
Yeah. I bet the White Sox still use a fax machine.
One of those big cell phones in the
Yeah,
office.
a cellular telephone.
They
Yeah.
get the tour and they're like, "That's our corded phone. You can make personal calls."
We just got rid of our payphones. We're so excited. Oh gosh.
Boy.
Well, I think we have to think that someday, yes, they will be good again, just for our own sanity. But on the other hand, it's hard when you're like, I just don't see it yet. Like, I just don't see it. And even with all new people and bringing in, organizationally bringing in new people and then trying to develop more young talent, you still have to be able to also go out and bring it when the time comes to bring in the right, big pieces of the puzzle. And I'm not convinced that
Who wants to play here? Yeah, who wants to play here?
if things are still the way they are, that
Mhm.
so, but God bless the man. Don't wish him any ill will. So if he's somebody's grandpa, I love grandpas. Like I love grandparents. So I can't.
I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy. He's just not a very good baseball owner.
Oh, well, this has been fun and it flew by, of course. So, I mean, I guess that means that we're just going to have to do it again sometime. And especially since he who must not be named, hopefully, is gone forever, then that means we'll get to see your beautiful face more often. So thank you very much for joining us today, Jacki. And yeah, thanks everybody. It's another great week of hanging out with the ladies, and we'll be back with you, whatever, next time. So let's see if I can